welcome to Zest with me, Shel Marie, the podcast that'll take you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. Today, I am super excited to welcome Jennie López. She is a best-selling author, TEDx speaker, success coach, a creator of the Intentional Unicorn. I just love that. I just loved connecting with her, and you are really going to enjoy meeting her today. From Fortune 500 leadership roles to empowering high achievers to embrace authenticity, she helps leaders activate their unique superpowers, which we will talk more about, create success that feels as good as it looks. Through her unique approach, she invites us to own our own voice, live boldly, and design lives of joy, impact, and alignment. If you feel called today, I invite you to share a little love by subscribing to our future episodes. It costs you absolutely nothing, but amplifies these powerful voices like you're going to hear today from Jennie's, and touches more hearts, which I think that's what we want to do in this world, send more love. So may this episode bring you clarity, courage, inspiration, and of course, activate and ignite your own unique superpowers. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Gracias. Thank you. So nice meeting you. When I was looking at your LinkedIn, I think we met in LinkedIn. I saw dancer, I saw empowerment, I saw energy, and I said, we're going to be best friends.
Yes. Do you know what? The word that really just stole the show for me is the word unicorn. Because, I feel like we have a story behind this. So we're going to go into this. I always, when there's just things there's things that we just love that makes us feel really happy, and glitter, they can say, oh, it's typical girl things, but not all girls like glitter, not all girls like sparkle, but even from a young age, I've always just loved that. There's just something that brings that, and look at you're already shining today, but brings that joy out of me. And I remember when I started attending these really powerful empowerment events and things, and people would say, you're a unicorn. And I don't know what it was, but there was just something inside of me that just, enough about me talking. Where did your word come from? Where did this unicorn come from? Because to me, it's a very unique, very out there, and very, I think magical creature that we're all very intrigued by. So I would love to know more about that.
Oh, thank you, Shel. Actually, the funny story is that it's not that I'm obsessed with unicorns. You have no idea how many people give me unicorn gifts. Unicorn PJs, unicorn stuffed animals, unicorn cups, and it's really cool. But for me, it's more of a metaphor because I had this dual career for the longest time, over 25 years, as a professional dancer, but also a chemical engineer. So I always felt like the unicorn that was sticking out for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
So not for the right reasons, for the wrong reasons. And the more and more I try to knock the horn and hide and say, no, I need to be like everybody else so I can have a chance of, success, the more and more I lost myself. And then finally I said, what am I doing, Jennie? Because whenever you embrace your uniqueness, that's whenever you do your best work, you're authentic, you connect the best with people, then lead with it, be intentional with that. So that's exactly what I said. You know what? Enough of hiding this horn of mine. I'm going to be intentional with it. I'm going to be, a unicorn. And it really gave me this sense of freedom and also confidence because then no more comparison. I am myself, and this is how I can best help. So more and more, I think people think that, oh, you need to find the unicorn. It's something so unique and only a few people have. I am under my mission is to let everybody understand that you're a unicorn. I mean, everybody came here to this beautiful world with something very unique. Gifts, experiences, learnings, wisdom. And we need to unleash that because that's our purpose. So unicorn is not something unique that only few people have. Actually, you can become a unicorn if you are very intentional with you and your superpowers.
Oh, I love that. That's so beautiful. And I think that just shows about the power of words and meaning. And we talk about this a lot actually on the podcast with many of my guests. We say these words, but actually how that person receives that word is based on their understanding of that word. So
Yes.
it's actually really interesting, because even say the person that first ever said that to me, depending on my interpretation of that word was how I received it, whether positively, negatively. And obviously there's the intention behind it, and there's the tonality and all that. But
Yeah.
yeah, like to me, it was just such a beautiful thing to say, and I can completely relate to your version of it as well, because I've also had that where, you know, you're in certain environments, and again, people are expected to look and behave and speak and have, you know, a certain way of performing or being. And I've had it where, when I won't say what say professional whatever, but it's not like a secret or anything, but you know, that was the past, so we don't need to go into it. But people would just say, but you don't really look like that, like, you know. And I think like we can laugh about it, but I think yeah, like the power of words can really have a big impact on people, I think. And I know you're
Yeah.
big on mindset and
Yes. Yeah.
empowering. So I know that you know exactly what it is to
Yes.
enter a room, to go on that stage. Like, if you have not gone on her any of her platforms, Instagram, you want to see this woman in action. Like, you don't even need to hear what you're saying, but you just feel that really, like, you can just tell that you're there, and you are so in your element, and of service to others. Even though you are shining, you can just feel that you are giving some of that beautiful energy of yours out, and you're sprinkling it across everybody there. Like, I really
Thank
feel that.
you.
You're
Thank you.
so
I was
welcome.
laughing when you said but you don't really look like, actually, I think there is a trend in TikTok. I don't know if you have seen Shel, that is, but you don't look like, and then fill the
Yeah,
blank, right? It could be Latina, it could be engineer, whatever.
yeah,
And then the
yeah,
person then does the stereotypical thing of whatever they think it should look like.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it was also my story, and I'm sure it's not unique. Like you mentioned, you had the same situation,
yeah,
but it was, Jenny, we almost didn't hire you because you were too bubbly for an engineer,
yeah.
and you don't dress like an engineer, and everything was not like an engineer. Like, well, what does that look like? What does, like, do I need a
Exactly.
pocket here and the calculator and glasses and, like
Yeah.
pen and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you get trapped into portraying a character that is not you, and then when you are portraying a character that is not you, you cannot give the best of you because you're diluting
Yes.
that energy right into, oh, they want me to
Mm.
be like this, they want me to talk like this, instead of putting all of that
Yeah.
energy into giving the best of you.
And I'd love you to expand on this, but people feel that, and it's ironic you said that. So I was almost like the other word of something of a chameleon. So I was then, because I didn't want to, you know, be too bubbly, be too this, be too that, I would try to blend, and that
Mhm.
was even worse, because then it was so like second nature to me, so awkward, and people feel that. And
Yes.
sometimes I think, and I know we talked about, you know, we're all unique, we all have our superpowers, as you like to say. But actually, I think, and this is particularly to the leaders out there that are listening right now, I think let that unicorn go into that environment, because sometimes you need that little change. You need that little sparkle. Not saying that there isn't the sparkle to start with, because it could be the opposite, in the sense of lots of bubbly people and then being like, oh, you're not bubbly enough. You know, there's all different scenarios. But I think sometimes, you know, you want change, you want to bring out different sides and versions. I think it takes a combination of people, not just
Absolutely.
sticking to the stereotype of what this organization is and what, you know, what it should look like. Like, who even
Yes.
defined that to start with?
I know. As a leader, so I was an executive leader for over 23 years, and my secret sauce was building a culture that wins. But so funny, Shel, because for probably the first 15 years, oh, Jenny, you just focus on the soft skills, on the soft stuff, the stuff that doesn't matter. We need productivity, we need
Yeah.
innovation. And say that comes after you build an organization that is
Yes.
superpower, that is engaged, that is going to
Mm,
give you the best of you. And the cool thing, to your point that you were saying, bring your authenticity, bring your unicorn, your superpowers, because the thing is not about, oh, my superpower is better than yours, Shell. No, it's like, how can yours and I get together and boom,
yes,
amplify? And that's
yes.
the beauty of it, because everybody brings something different. And if you
Mm,
really allow every single employee, you were talking about leaders, to really allow to bring their best self, I'm
yeah.
telling you, your organization is just gonna like go to the next level, levels that you never imagined that you could
Mm,
achieve.
mm. Absolutely, and you touched on a really powerful point there that, for example, we've been doing these Zest panel discussions. We talked about conscious leadership and things like that, and we talk really a lot about that because there is this, if I heard you right, that you beautifully explained, there is this like results, this very, I don't like to label it, but sometimes it can be called as masculine energy, but there's this
Mhm.
like driving force and, we need this right now. But actually, if you're not tending to the people, the surroundings, the environment, which you so beautifully mentioned, it's all going to start crumbling. There's going to be gaps. There's going to be people come, people go. Whereas if you really build that culture where they're really, feel that they enjoy what they're doing, they love, not obviously, I know like I use quite strong words, but like enjoy coming to work and they feel respected,
Yeah.
they feel seen, they feel heard, your retention is going to be so much greater.
Yes.
So otherwise then
Yes.
you have to train that next person up. So I think, you can be replaced. Yeah, they can keep being replaced, but you're going to have to keep showing the next person what to do.
Right.
So
I know. It's
yeah.
so funny because I get people about, oh, Jenny, since you talk about culture, I want you to teach people how to be like the people we want them to be. I said, you cannot do that. You
No.
have to actually create, because at the end of the day, like let's say, for example, you and I are working for a company. We can decide to leave at any point and take our talent with us and our experience. They don't own anybody. It's so funny. They think we need engagement, no engagement, retention
Yeah,
strategies.
yeah.
You don't retain anybody. However, if you build a culture where Shell and I are like super excited, we're bringing our best selves, we feel that we are adding value and we belong, we're going to choose to stay to work together for you,
Absolutely.
ex company. So I think people get it completely backwards.
Yes, yes, yes. I agree, and that's why I think, because I do believe there is a power to words, and that's why I believe you are a success coach as well, because I think, and I would love you to touch on this, but I know that particularly certain words that, people kind of skim around certain words like success or things like that because it's so like, well, it's right or it's wrong. It's in a way, So, but that shows the boldness, the confidence, and the belief in you and what you can achieve. Because I also believe that when we have that powerful intention and we believe in ourselves, and I do feel there is this like unlearning we need to do of, don't be too this, don't be too that. And that's why we kind of, even if we have that built-in belief in ourselves, we kind of, just don't say it too much because just in case. But no, go all in, and that builds that culture then of, just as much as fear, you can have joy. So it's like,
Yes.
what are you infusing into what you're
Yes.
doing and what you're saying? And I think it's super important.
Yeah, beautiful. And honestly, your definition of success is going to be different than mine. It's going to be
Yes.
different from anybody who is listening to us right now, by the way. Thank you for engaging here.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of us have like old programming that is embedded based on how we were raised, perhaps the culture, our upbringing, that success looks like certain thing, right?
Yes.
And if we
Yeah.
don't do that, then we are a failure. And I
Mm-mm.
believe going back to the authenticity, everybody has their own authentic journey of what success looks like, and it should be defined by each of us, not by
Yeah.
society, not by family, sorry mom and dad,
Yeah.
and not by your culture. And when you are really living that definition of success for
Mm.
you, that's whenever you become aligned, which I love that you talk about alignment. And that's whenever life becomes easier, believe it or not.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. And I agree because it goes back to, I always forget the right way the quote is said, but a comparison is the thief of, I can't remember what the end, but that's what I mean because, like what you said, we are all on our own different paths, we're on our own different journeys, and so for some people, getting up and doing one thing today, they've been successful. Another person, they might have a whole list they've got to get through. But in a way, we put that pressure and whatever, like what you say, the definition is on ourselves. So ultimately, and okay, I know in business sense, sometimes there is the expectation of someone else that puts that pressure. But I think particularly as a leader, you have to kind of be bold enough and really sometimes go into these organizations because you've been employed for a reason to say,
Yes.
listen, give me just this little breathing space or something and I will show you. Because again, it is almost that, not fear, because I think the word fear again can get made into quite a strong word, but like, I think we've only done it this way for so long and we've got this result. So yeah, but you've got that result. You want a different result? You have to come out of the comfort zone. And sometimes that isn't like the most easiest choice to make. But let's just give ourselves a little breathing space. Let's experiment. Let's be creative. And you never know what might come out of it. So
I love that. You know what? You brought me back to, I don't know, probably 15, 20 years back in a comment that you mentioned, because yes, success sometimes is easier to have a little bit more control when you are owning your own journey as an entrepreneur, business owners. I've lived both, right?
Yes.
And like you well mentioned, sometimes success is defined by the company or the supervisor you work for, but the how, you still own that.
Yeah.
And I was one of those very few female leaders that was managing big manufacturing sites, which is unheard of in a very male dominated, And I remember there were very, very few people that I looked up to because there were very, very few women that have done what I've done before. And one woman said, Jennie, it's easy. You just have to know that it's either work. Check this out. This is bad, by the way. Bad advice. Is it work or your daughter? And your daughter needs to know that work comes first, and because work comes first, mommy cannot be with daughter all the time, and that's just the way it is. And honestly, when I heard that show, I almost cried. I'm like, I don't want to be a leader. But then I heard another woman. There were very few, so those two, right? And then the other one was like, Jennie, you own how, right? And as long as you're successful, like you own the how, nobody knows what's happening. So that's it. I learned that advice and I give it to everybody in case anybody here is listening and saying, how can I be successful without sacrificing my kids, for example, right? And I say, hey, if you want to give your A+, and the way you do it is by sacrificing yourself, your health, your well-being, your family, the company will take that and they say, way to go, Shel.
Yes,
but if you do your A+, but the way you do it behind the scenes, leveraging your tribe, prioritizing your kids, being very well organized, with your systems and everything, the company will still gonna say, way to go, Shel. So you own the how. Make it happen along with your priorities.
Wow, that is so powerful, and I just want to repeat that back to you because I think that's really powerful for people to hear what you've just said. And I know many, they would have got it straight away, but 100%, because you are, say for instance, in that leadership role, they're focused on the results, they're focused on the outcomes, but the how is technically up to you 100%, because like sometimes, well, it's that delegation, isn't it? It's delegation and really knowing the strengths, or having that gamble to believe in someone that maybe hasn't stepped into that role yet, and giving them the chance, because it's back to that control of, oh, but I'm in this role and they're looking for the results and I'm responsible. But if you're putting that on yourself, of course, you need to be able to say, no, I've been put in this role for a reason. I have these incredible people around me. We are a team. And actually, in this moment, okay, I'm going to put my trust in this person, or I'm going to believe that, I don't need to do it all. I have all these amazing
Yes.
people around me. And I think that's really powerful. And I know, seeing from your beautiful pictures, that's really empowering to hear from, someone that was in leadership, or sorry, to I don't know if you still are, or whether, but I mean, and to be a mama at the same time.
Yes.
And yeah, even if we don't have that direct conversation from somebody like what you received, it's kind of almost like it's like I'm trying to say, but it's almost like a given anyway of like oh, she's having, she's got a kid, or and it's like, no, again, let her, actually, let's not put judgments and expectations on people. Why don't you see if you can get the results first? Let her shine first. Let her cut, like, because I think this whole like asking, oh, do you want children in the future? Have you got any children? Are you, you're not asking men these questions.
I know, Shel. When I got pregnant with my second kid, I remember telling my supervisor, I was managing a manufacturing site, and I was so excited about telling him, and he's like, oh. What do we do when you're out? Because they never had a woman in that division being a manufacturing site. And I said, what do you mean, what do you do? What if it's a guy that got injured and he has to be on medical leave for a couple months? Same thing. So they're like, oh. So anyway, I just
good handling. By the way, listen to that. Very good handling. Oh yeah.
Like bulb. But it comes back with the how. Like, we just need to be creative and don't think because and again, I don't want to be so man and woman, because it could be a woman that still leads in a very different way, but because you see that a leader has done it this way, and he or she or they have been successful, you think that that's the only way. No, you own your results, but you also own the how you're gonna do that, and just be creative, be resourceful.
Beautiful. I love that so much, and we can see your beautiful book behind you. Do you want to share a little bit about your book?
Yes,
with the listeners?
Thank you. Everything about me is intentional unicorn. I decided to really own the brand because it's, again, empowering people to own your best authentic self, but in a way that is intentional. And I just did a TEDx, by the way. Thank you for mentioning it. It is called The Lie of Fitting In. The Lie of Fitting In. You can find it in YouTube, but it's not because this is who I am, like it or not. It's not about that. That's why I don't say anymore, be unapologetically you, because it's not about you against the world. It's about how you bring your best intentional way for the problem to solve, for the people that you're helping, etc. When it's not about you anymore, I'm telling you, you can have so much more impact. And honestly, that's our goal at the end of the day. Beautiful. So intentional unicorn is about how to leverage your authenticity to thrive in life, in career, and in business. And it has for any goal that you have, how do you start? What's the framework? So I have a framework, but the cool thing, what I hear about more, is that it's not like a textbook of like tools and strategies, and it feels like I'm having a conversation with you. Beautiful. And I'm very, very authentic here in what worked and what did not work. So I share the good, the bad, and the ugly for the whole goal of inspiring. But people absolutely love the book. It's in Amazon, and I would love for you to share it. Yeah, have a copy, enjoy it, and share it for those people who will like the message.
And I'll put all of your information about your TEDx and your book all in the description. And I think you just mentioned something really powerful as well that I didn't want to skim over. And I think particularly in these roles where, we are, say, online, we are using our voice. I think what you mentioned is, I no longer say unapologetically, sorry, what was it? Unapologetically you.
I'm unapologetically myself. Yes.
And I really want to emphasize that, because for example, I know that things that, say, I've said at the start of whatever my journey or the podcast, and I think, there's almost this like again, this false, like being held to things. And actually, I love that you own that, because I used to kind of use those types of words. And I remember even yesterday on a podcast, I was saying, like, you know, we're talking about the pause technique, and I was saying, you know, if you need to have a break and go away and come back to it when you feel like you're, you know, not in a triggered state, or you're not in a reactive state. And I really love having these powerful conversations, because then the person said, yeah, but actually, if that person is then feeling like you've just distanced from them or ghost them or something, that's not kind on their behalf. And like, even now I get like a little shiver, because I think, I didn't think about that. Because again, we're so much, well, for me right now, and I think we get into this culture of a little bit of me and my values and all this, and I even feel like in this short space of time of these podcasts just this year, you know, I think it's important to give ourselves that grace, and to say that, you know what, okay, maybe I might have said this, but actually I never thought about that. And I think we really need to know that we're going on this journey all the time, and that's the importance of really interacting with other people, sharing different ideologies, different strategies, different thoughts, feelings and emotions, because that is where the growth truly lies. And I think it's almost like, particularly the more exposure you get, the more your voice is heard, you almost like held to these certain things. And I think particularly when building a brand as well, so many people become, without realizing it, but that's me now, that's what I've represented myself as. No, that's not you. That was a version of you that at that time, you know, you honored that version of you, and he whatever was the perfect part for that journey in your life. And we kind of then, even in our own creative endeavors or whatever, we create again almost a kind of, not a mask, but we create another version when we never intended to. But that was when you were finding yourself still. We're always going to be finding ourselves throughout our whole life.
Always growing. If you're not growing, you're dying.
Absolutely. So I really, really, really thank you for mentioning that, because that's really powerful. And I think, you know, we have to give people grace, and we're only human. So
I have gosh, you remind me of I have a little acronym that I love to use when people ask me, Jennie, you are like the thought leader, the guru. I'm not a guru, but of authenticity, because that's all I really love to talk about. But how do I know if I'm authentic or not? Like, how do I ground myself? I get that question all the time. And then I finally say, okay, I need to come up with something that sticks, and it's called, then you have a map. Okay. So the M, and you remind me because you mentioned a couple of these things right now, is think about if how you're behaving right now, are you having a mask or not? So is this really you, or the person that you think, for example, I'm in this podcast, so Shel wants me to say this, right? No, that's not the case at all, by the way. That's why I love conversation.
Don't tell them that I told you to say all this, that we had a script. No, trust me. You can tell from most of my introductions, I'm like, there's no script here. The most unauthentic part is usually when I'm trying my best to read your beautiful intro.
Oh, I love that. So the M is, are you really truly being you? Are you having a mask? Because that's what you think people expect you to be, to do, to say, etc. So that's the M. The A is like, when do you truly feel alive? Because that's a really good sign that you're aligned. Otherwise, that's whenever you feel tired or drained, or not really in flow. So the A is for, think about, are you feeling alive? Are you feeling in flow? And then the P is for pause and reflect. Because it's not, this is who I am. Don't give yourself a label that keeps you stuck. Life is about growing, to exactly what Shel was just saying right now. So think about, is this element of me serving me to keep growing, or is just
Mm,
keeping me stuck or actually pushing me back. And life is just about growing, reflecting, and
yeah.
continue to be the best version of yourself. So don't get stuck and give yourself
Mm.
a disempowering label. This is just me. No, grow, learn, and have more impact out there. So map the map.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. And I don't know why this has come to mind, but I feel like, when sometimes you think of things, sometimes they have a purpose or a reason behind it. And I want to really stress to anyone listening, whenever anything is expressed, um, like I did not look this up and double check it. So it's just something that's, someone said to me. And I was like thinking about the power of words and all that. So again, if this is inaccurate, but even if it isn't, it was just really powerful what someone mentioned to me. And what it was is, Bruno Mars sang, "I wanna be a millionaire so bad," um, and he actually said after he sang that song, again, don't quote me on this, but he actually said he had a lot of financial issues. But if you think
Mhm.
about it, it's really connecting to his heart, because I do believe there is a power, particularly when back to what you said, when you're activated, when you're connected to that heart, when you feel that alignment. And again, I think particularly for singers and creatives,
Mhm.
we artists, there is often sometimes from pain sometimes that the true real the dancing, the expression comes out. And again, so they're almost held, particularly singers, like, a dancer could do that dance, and that and that's kind of that release for that time. But a singer particularly, there are people that relate to that album at that time, and they're held and I remember even was it not Cardi B recently saying,
Uh-huh.
yeah, so she was saying, I don't want to sing that song anymore because I'm a mama now and I don't want to be in that energy. And people could say it's this woo woo whatever, but I really believe there's something, because if you're singing, say, Nasty Girl or something, not saying that's what you're singing about, or you're singing quite a sexual song, and you can't go on kind of, I'm not saying that mums can't, but like you are in a certain sometimes energy.
Yes. Yes.
And yeah, so I don't know, that just seemed, I think that's just something that came up, and I think
Yeah.
it's just really powerful to mention that,
Yeah.
and to give that grace to not only yourself but to others, that we are always going through these different times, these different seasons, these different phases. And often sometimes, yeah, that our most powerful messages can come from sometimes our not downfalls, but things that happen in our lives. And
Absolutely.
yeah, own them and just,
Yeah.
yeah.
I actually I know that I'm a, what's the word? It's not masochistic. That's not the word. But like I actually look forward for those down moments because I
Yes.
know there's a breakthrough. And those every time I have a down moment, it's always expedited my growth and my next chapter in a way that I didn't
Mm,
even know possible. And I think a lot of people live in fear and they keep playing small because of that. They don't want
yes.
to have the bad moment. They're in fear the whole time. That's not a way of living life. So
Yeah.
I actually do look forward sometimes. Not that, oh, I want my life to be hard, but when it's hard, instead of saying, oh, poor Jenny, poor me, I just say, okay, wait a second. There's a breakthrough.
Mm,
There's a breakthrough. There's a
yeah.
learning. I'm going
Yeah.
to grow, and something awesome is going to happen out of this because that's been my experience and continues to be. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm going
No,
to
I,
start just
I
saying,
agree. I'm the same. Like, obviously sometimes when we're going through it, it's like, oh, but you can,
oh,
but I think that's
right.
really important. And this isn't just saying to like females as well. This is actually really talking to men. Feel it. Feel it. And allow yourself to really own it and feel it. Because I do think sometimes we are particularly put in the situations when we have those conversations with others, or we're in an environment and we all go, because I was watching Oprah recently, and she was talking about something in her book club to someone, and she was really, and she said, no, 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 you let that out now. You let that out now. And she said, no, no one wants to cry on your show. And it was, no, because in this moment, because of maybe what has been said or what is around you, that is the time you need to release it. But we still, even though, not always saying it's a must, but we no, 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 not here right now. But then we go home and we don't feel the same. And it's not, again, saying, we should just in meetings be crying, like, of course. But I just think if you're in a safe environment, particularly when you're speaking about things like this in an empowering environment, give yourself permission.
Yes.
And just really,
I love that. Yes, because that release is powerful for you, but also for the people, especially in the example you were providing. There were people watching, and I'm sure there were people connecting to that. So that person, by going through it, it was also empowering other people, kind of given permission to do so as well. I went, one of the pastors of my church one time, they were talking about sometimes suppressing feelings. You think that oh no, you push it down, but what happens is that they build like rocks. And then I love this pastor because he used to teach kids, so he's very animated. So he went to the stage with a backpack that it was full of books, right? And it's like, every time you suppress feeling, this is what you look like. He was like, with a big, like, full of, I don't know, it was super full of stuff. And then he just started dumping stuff on the stage, and they say, when you finally work through these feelings, release, you become so much lighter, and now you're open to the things that you finally want in your life. So I thought that was very powerful, because I remember the backpack.
but again, like, it shows the power of what we see and what we hear. And even if someone else could have said that exact same thing, and a lot of people could have missed it, but the visual representation of it, and probably the and even maybe if he put it on a chart, oh my gosh, like really feeling it as we're talking about. So powerful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, like, I love our conversation, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
And a lot of the different similar subjects.
Yes. And if there's anything you want to expand on it, I'd love, particularly as we spoke about in the intro, for those people listening, and the connecting and activating and igniting your superpower, like, what would you like to share on that? Because I love these types of discussions.
Yes. It's so funny, because sometimes when I talk about superpowers and don't bring a little bit of context, they're like, oh, she's crazy, she talks about superheroes, superpowers, and unicorns, right? But I don't like to talk about, like, strengths, because especially high achieving people, very successful leaders like you and I, and the audience that is listening right now, we are really good at many things. We have a lot of strengths, but then we dilute ourselves whenever we just say, oh yeah, this is what I do, right? But if you own with what you shine at, it doesn't mean that you're not good at everything else, but then you give clarity to people to say, hey, this is how I can best help. And so I really love helping people uncovering and owning those superpowers, no more than 3, because then you dilute yourself. But then you own your what they call the elevator speech, right? Like, so tell me about Shel. And then Shel goes, I do this, I do that. People that were brains are wired that whenever something is too long or too confusing, too difficult, or boring, it shuts down. And you don't want people to shut down on you. But if you say, hey, for example, my elevator speech was before, I love building cultures that win, and that's how I transform organizations. And then that opens, right? So people know, okay, that's her superpower. So that's whenever I talk about superpowers, it helps you with, like, interviews, one-on-ones, in your personal branding, in your business, in networking events. So that's what I'm talking about, the superpowers. And then it gives you a permission also to own your voice. And this is what I'm talking about. Many times they will say, Jennie, you're too nice. You're too nice. You're too nice. Even I had a vice president one time that said, I don't know if I trust you with a difficult job because you're too nice. And then I kept saying, okay, then being nice is a bad thing. So then don't smile, Jennie. Like, don't be nice with people. And I said, that's not you. But then I said, actually, it's not that I'm too nice. It's that I care. And that makes me an incredible, effective, inclusive leader. And that's why I've been able to transform organizations in manufacturing, in the business, and in HR. So you own your voice. So I love talking about people. It's not me versus the world, but educate. Educate on your voice in a way that you help connecting the dots for people, and
Yeah.
don't think it's they should know, because there's nothing really common sense out there. The only thing that is not common is, what does it say? My husband say, Jenny, the only thing that is not common out there is common sense, right? So you have to help
Mm.
connecting dots for people.
I love that. Thank you so much for mentioning that. And actually, when I think about that, it actually circles, I believe, round to what we were talking about earlier, because it goes back to that this is what a leader is. And it's not, again, saying that there was anything wrong with you, but I feel like you need that confidence to say, well, do you know what? Let me show you. Because again,
Mhm.
we're in this times where, like, we're still stuck in certain structures and ways of being, and so it's, I don't think it's at the fault of people often. It's just they're only used to, that's the only way they know. And
Mhm.
even people often in these roles are not performing at the level they were employed to perform to perform at, because again they're like, no, you were put in that position to show, to come in, make a
Yes.
change. And so I really like that you mentioned that, and that
Yeah.
and that takes a bold person. But then if I was, even if I said that comment and someone said to me, well, let me show you, I think I'd want to employ that person. So even in that, when you get these comments, just remember. And someone always said this to me, and I feel like this is really powerful, because there was always a time where I went in to say these interviews, and I would be almost like, which I think most of us, like, oh, will they like me, will they want me, will I almost like to win, no, 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 no. Do you want to work for them as well? Like, actually, when
Yes.
you're going in there and these people are talking to you and they're sharing about their culture, their
Yes.
organization, is this where you see your time being spent, your energy?
Mhm.
Because there's the opposite of, actually, they need, and you
Yeah.
should be, if you're going for those roles, you should be going in with a clear mind and wanting to make a difference, a change. And equally the other way around. So I think it's really important that we honor ourselves a little bit more, and not
Yeah.
always think that, oh, will they want to invite me to
Pick
this in
me.
all aspects of our lives? Yeah, pick me. So yeah,
I
really,
love that.
I'm in loving this conversation so much. Like,
Oh,
I feel like we could just keep talking and talking and talking.
I love that.
Yeah, I really appreciate this, Jenny. And
Thank you.
obviously, I don't, if there's anything that you feel like right now that the viewers would really benefit from here, like, please share anything that you feel like you need to share. But and yeah, like I said, I just really appreciate this time with you. And
Thank you. Thank you. I wanted to say one more talking point about what we
yeah,
were
yeah,
talking about,
yeah,
and then yeah, I can share
yeah.
how
No, as
people can
much as you
continue
want to
the
share, this is your
conversation.
time.
No, but I love that we were talking about, like, pick me, and I don't have the confidence. It's always a two-way conversation. Doesn't matter if it's an interview or a networking event, it's always a two-way conversation. But also, not only when it talks about your own voice, owning your voice, and I talk about this because from my Latino culture, there's so much that we struggle with, like, stereotypes, and I'm sure it's not just Latinos, right? It's like
Yeah.
everybody will have a stereotype of what is somebody from the UK or somebody
Yes,
from
yes.
Latin America, right? From But
Yeah.
owning your voice will help you with that. So I'm not going to talk about from a cultural aspect, but I was an NFL cheerleader and captain for 7 years here in the USA. And I had people, leaders, that will say, well, Jenny, if you want to be taken seriously here, you just have to, like, quit that cheerleading thingy, because there's a stereotype, right,
Yeah,
about
yeah,
dancers. And I know you will connect with this because you're a dancer too.
yeah,
And, for a little bit, I was like, I need to stop dancing because people are going to think that blah, 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 right? And I said, no,
yeah.
let's educate. What they don't know is that when I moved to the USA, I had no idea what football was. I was a dancer, but I had to learn the game, right? I have to, like, grow to be a leader. I ended up being from a cheerleader to a captain of the Super
Wow.
Bowl. I earned a ring. I captained the team through choreography in different countries in a military tour. All these skills, like, if
Yes.
they get the
Discipline.
patience, If they get the patience to break down stereotypes and get to really understand the experience that every single employee of yours or peer bring,
Yeah.
you are going to unlock so many amazing strengths, skills, and superpowers that you don't even know that you have. Because I'm saying, imagine how all the skills that I have developed over the past 7 years, if I bring them intentionally here, poof, right?
Yes,
So
yeah.
that's why everybody's a unicorn. I'm going to wrap it up like that. Make sure that you own it. You own it.
Yeah.
You live with that. But also for those of you who are leaders, get to know your people
Yeah.
and get to understand the unicorn superpowers that you have in your organization and build an amazing culture. So just wrapping it up right now, Intentional
Mm.
Unicorn is my brand. I would love to continue the dialogue. Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, all of them. And I go live in Instagram every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So just connect with me. We'd love to learn more about you.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You're an absolute blessing, and I know it sounds similar to what I asked you previously, but it doesn't have to be linked at all to anything like that. Just anything that comes to the top of your mind. If there's someone listening right now that would really benefit from hearing something, what would you tell them?
Hmm. The best, honestly, I will go back to this formula. Be authentic, be intentional, so you can have the impact that you're meant to have.
Beautiful. It's been an absolute blessing. I've loved connecting with you, and just keep shining, and you're doing incredible, and I love watching you. Really go follow her. She's doing incredible, all kinds of creating all kinds of incredible events, and yeah, just keep shining and motivating and
Thank you.
inspiring, and allowing others to really step into what they want to do, and it's never too late, anyone. It's never too late. Yeah, beautiful.
Absolutely. Thank you. It was a pleasure meeting you as well. Love your energy, love what you're doing with your audience, and keep it growing. We need more people like you in this world.